Welcome to English Podcast. Subscribe our channel for more update.
Welcome to the deep dive. We got this really fascinating set of materials from you this week, all talking about rebranding your life.
Yeah, and not just in a superficial way, right? Not like just a new haircut or clothes.
Exactly. It's framed as this, genuine process of personal growth, of evolution. We're talking deeper shifts, changing how you think, how you act.
It is quite a powerful idea. The sources draw this parallel between how companies rebrand, logos, messaging, the whole strategic package to change how people see them.
And how you can do something similar for your own life. Intentionally reshape your narrative.
It really makes you pause and think, doesn't it? What if you could genuinely influence how the world sees you, and maybe even more critically, how you see yourself, the story you tell internally?
That's the core question we're really digging into today. What these sources hammer home is that your identity isn't set in stone.
Not at all. It's flexible. It's something you can actively shape.
Think about those examples that came up in the readings, learning to walk as a baby, or for many people, learning English later on. Those weren't easy.
Right. They took effort, practice, falling down, getting back up. They show that huge personal change is absolutely possible.
So our mission here in this deep dive is to unpack that. How can you intentionally, purposefully create a new version of yourself based on what these materials suggest, of course?
Okay, so let's start by sort of taking apart this idea of rebranding your life. The sources use that company analogy quite a bit.
Yeah, a company changes its logo, its website, maybe its products.
To send a new message.
Right.
Right. And personally. Well, our thoughts are like our internal slogans. Our actions are the products we put out there.
And our speech, how we carry ourselves, that's our personal marketing campaign, in a way.
And the whole point, as the articles state, is to change others' perceptions of you and the message you send about who you are.
It really forces you to ask some deep questions, the kind the sources brought up. Is the you're currently presenting inside and out the whole story?
Yeah. Or have you maybe outgrown parts of it? Is it time for something more? Are you actually ready for that?
Good questions. And this ties into another big theme from the materials. The power of choice. The idea that your identity isn't fixed. It's changeable.
It has plasticity, as one source put it. You're not stuck.
It acknowledges the past. Sure, maybe mistakes you've made, old habits you're not proud of.
But this is crucial that they don't have to define you going forward. Only if you let them. They're chapters, not the final page.
Right, like those examples. Again, learning to walk, learning a language. You weren't born knowing how. You developed it.
Exactly. We all have that capacity to grow, to change, to learn.
And the sources suggest you can consciously direct that capacity. You can choose to become, say, more confident or more disciplined, maybe more focused.
Or more positive, more energized. These aren't just wishful thinking. There are potential outcomes if you make intentional choices to sort of rebrand from the inside.
Okay, so we've got the why and the what's from the sources. Let's get into the how. A few articles talked about this cleanup phase.
Yes, the decluttering. Like a company getting rid of old logos or products that don't fit anymore.
We need to do that personally too, right? Identify and actively remove the things, habits, thoughts, maybe even people that don't align with where we want to go.
And this requires some real honesty. The sources pose questions like, what habits are holding me back? Really think about it.
What thoughts consistently pull me down? What environments leave me feeling drained instead of, energized?
What kind of stuff am I consuming all day? News, social media? Is it helping or hurting? And who am I spending my time with? Are they supportive?
And the readings were clear. This part can be tough. Letting go feels like loss sometimes, even if it's letting go of something negative but familiar.
But it's framed as growth, isn't it? Making space. You have to clear the old ground before you can plant new seeds.
Definitely. And there's a really practical tip in a couple of pieces. Don't try to change everything at once.
Oh, absolutely not. That's a recipe for overwhelm. Start small. One thing.
Like maybe swat 15 minutes of scrolling for 15 minutes of reading.
Or catch one negative thought, I'm so lazy, and consciously replace it with, I'm working on being more productive. Just once a day to start.
Or switching complaining for finding one thing to be grateful for in that situation.
Exactly. Small hinges swing big doors, as they say. The sources really emphasize how these little shifts compound over time.
Okay, so after clearing some space, the next phase feels more constructive. Redefining the message. Crafting the new story.
Yes, this is the exciting part, according to several sources. This is where you ask, who do I want to be?
What kind of energy do I want to put out there? What do I really stand for?
And critically, it's not just thinking it. You need to start writing that new story and speaking it. The words we use about ourselves are incredibly powerful.
I saw those examples in the notes. Instead of I'm lazy, maybe I'm becoming more productive every day.
Or if you're learning English, ditch I'm bad at English for I'm learning, I'm improving. It changes the feeling instantly.
Even just I can't versus I'm figuring it out. Huge difference in mindset, right?
Huge. Your words, your self-talk, they build your reality, build your identity. So yeah, start talking like the person you want to become, even if it feels a bit weird at first.
Okay, talking the talk, but then you have to walk the walk, right? That leads to the next stage, building the new identity through action.
Exactly. One source called it building a brand new character. You're consciously designing who you want to be through what you do every day.
So you got to think, like the article suggested, how would this new me walk? How would they talk? How would they think?
What would their daily routine look like? And then you start doing those things.
Even if it feels a bit like acting initially.
Especially then. Think of it as practice, rehearsal. You're embodying the role until it becomes natural. It's not fake. It's intentional practice.
That makes sense. And confidence comes from evidence, doesn't it? Like the psychological pieces mentioned.
Precisely. Every time you act in line with that new identity, you're proving to yourself, hey, I can be this person. You build belief through doing.
So what are some practical first steps? The sources had some ideas.
Yeah, simple things. Maybe wake up 30 minutes earlier for some quiet time.
Or go for a walk, but leave the phone at home for once. Be present.
Start journaling. Just 5 minutes a day. Get those thoughts out. Write that new narrative.
Create one tiny new positive routine, like making your bed, maybe. Sounds small, but builds momentum.
Or saying no just once a week to something that drains you, that frees up energy.
Right. Every action is like a vote for the person you're becoming. I liked that analogy from one of the articles.
Me too. It makes it feel very actionable. But while taking action, there's a trap to avoid.
Perfectionism.
Exactly. One article really highlighted shifting focus from perfection, which is impossible and paralyzing, to alignment.
Alignment. Okay, what does that mean practically?
It means asking, are my actions, generally speaking, moving me towards my goals? Are they consistent with my values?
So back to the English example from the notes. If your goal is confident speaking, are you actually, practicing speaking, listening, engaging?
All right. You might mess up, have bad days, feel awkward. But if you're generally doing the things that align with the goal, you're on the right path.
That feels much more manageable than trying to be perfect all the time. Alignment keeps you moving forward.
And speaking of moving forward, the final pieces really stressed patience and consistency.
Right. This isn't an overnight fix. Rebranding your life takes time. Like learning that language or building a business. It's a process.
So you need patience with yourself, absolutely. But, and this is key, patience isn't passivity. You still need relentless consistency.
Don't just wait for motivation to strike, because it often won't.
Exactly. Build systems, create habits, set reminders, write your goals down where you'll see them, use tools, whatever it takes to stay consistent, even when you don't feel like it.
Because those small, consistent daily actions are what really add up. That came through loud and clear in the readings.
They really do. That's how you build momentum and make real progress.
So if we were to boil down the core message from all these materials,
I think it comes down to this. You are the brand.
your energy, your mindset, your voice, they matter. They shape your whole experience.
So make them powerful, make them positive, make them intentional. Don't just drift on autopilot or stay stuck in survival mode.
Choose, decide, rebrand actively.
Because the ultimate goal here, the whole point of this, is to level up your life, to become that more authentic, more empowered version of you.
So wrapping up this deep dive, the big takeaway is you can evolve. You're not stuck. Change is possible.
Absolutely. So maybe take some time after this, reflect on how these ideas might apply to your life, what resonated.
And perhaps leave you with this final thought to chew on, something building on everything we've discussed.
Was just one small thing, one concrete step you could take today to start that rebranding process, to align just a little bit more with the person you truly want to become.